spinning. Just a second. It says we're live. All right, so we're live. So, hey, I'm Sean, Federal Prison Talk. Thanks for watching, guys. Your time thing might have said 9:30. It was supposed to be 9. Anyways, I got Hadley Jones with me today, and he wanted to come on and kind of tell you guys his story. He just got sentenced to 27 months. He self-surrenders November 28th, and we're going to talk tonight. And you can call in live. I'll put the number on the screen in a minute, and we can take your phone calls, or you can leave a comment, and, we're going to – I'll introduce you to Hadley. Why don't you say hello and tell everybody what's going on with you, man?
My name's Hadley Jones. I live in Amarillo, Texas, and I self-surrender on November 28th to do 27 months in a federal, I hope, prison camp. My charge is conspiracy to commit wire fraud.
That's one thing I didn't know, wire fraud. That's so broad. I mean, I was filling out fake tax forms for people to shorten the story. But if you want to talk about your wire fraud, I don't want to get you in any more trouble. So please don't, don't say anything they don't.
I'm pretty sure that it's all over. I hope. Long story long. I ended up getting caught up with a friend of mine, and he was a manager for a company, and I was a contractor, and we filed some fake invoices, and we defrauded a company out of almost $500,000,
Wow.
And that is why I'm in trouble.
Okay. I'll talk about it. I just want to say hi to Brian. He's in the room. Brian, because we talked on the phone the other day. Thanks for tuning in, Brian. And, if I can help you out with anything else, you let me know. Yeah, it's that fraud thing when you fill out the paperwork. Like my first fake tax form that I did, it was for, a friend of mine, and it went through, and we got this money, and I said, it was that easy? You know what I mean? And, the whole door, it's like evil says, hello, come in.
I mean,
you cross that line, man.
Our deal just kind of snowballed, and that's where I ended up. Just it kind of was so easy, and it's hard to say no at some point, and that's what happened. That's what ended up.
It is. And you do that kind of stuff, and you probably think I could get caught, I could go to jail or prison or something for this, but maybe I won't. And the longer time goes that nobody said anything or caught you, I don't know. Me, I almost believed I was helping people because I would get the homeless.
Yeah.
I'm doing homeless guys' taxes. I'm getting them back $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. I mean, they're like hugging me and everything else, and so I'm thinking I'm Robin Hood now.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It turns into it just snowballs. That's all I can really say. It just ended up being something it should have never been, and
yeah,
I am sorry for any financial damage I caused, and
see, I can tell that you're sorry now. How long were you on pretrial?
A year. November will be a year. So I got a visit November 17th of last year from the Secret Service at my work, and that year, the year leading up to going to court, that was really the hardest part because the unknown, the unknown is kind of
right. You don't know if you're getting 10 years or probation, and they're letting me out, and people are telling me I was out 4 years. They're going, you're not going to go to prison.
Yeah,
they don't lock you up. You're not going. If you do have a federal case, you're probably going to get probation. That's why they're letting you out. They don't understand. No, you're going into. You get indicted by the feds, you're going to prison.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people that I know.
I want to see how the JD. That's one of your people.
That's my little sister. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Great. So did you go through? I call it the 5 stages of grief, but 5 stages of pretrial grief. At first, you're in denial. You're angry, and you don't believe it, and you want to. And then you get to the acceptance, and it's like when somebody dies too. You don't believe it. You're in denial, and then acceptance, and then slowly you get to, okay, I guess I did do it. I guess, and then I started to look at myself and find out I was not a good person, and everything I did was I stole from the government. It doesn't matter who I stole for. I'm a thief. By the end of my little journey on pretrial, I was a changed man, and I did, but it takes time,
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It took me a while to realize like how serious things were. At first I didn't really understand how deep of shit I was in until I didn't even lawyer up. They had visited me, whatever, and I didn't do anything. And then I got a letter in the mail, and they told me this is a target letter. You're targeted for a fraud investigation. And next thing I knew, I was
that's a scary letter. It's a scary day. I could imagine what goes through your mind when you read that. At first, you're hoping it's some fake scam letter or something from somebody.
Yeah,
but it's real.
And
hi TJ, how we doing?
I called one of my uncles, man, and I called all these lawyers, and everybody wanted crazy money. And one of my uncles was finally like, "You're in trouble. Here's some money." We threw that money at the lawyer, and he did a good job for me. I will give him that. He did me a pretty good job, and it's a scary thing when you're married and you have kids, and you have a life that you feel like you've built that is pretty good. My wife, she's set in her profession, and I was pretty set in my profession. And
see, here's why they punish us for that kind of stuff. You had a wife, you had a kid, you had a life, and you went and did this anyways. That's why the feds are so hard on white collar criminals or any kind of crime. But if you try to use that as a defense, in some character reference letters and all that stuff on sentencing day, you don't say you can't say I have a wife, I have a family, I have a grandmother that's 80 years old, she needs me. If you put me in prison, I can't help them. Then the judge said, why the hell did you do that crime? If they're so important, why are you in front of me right now?
Yep. And that, I went in there and I pretty much owned up to everything. I didn't deny anything. I went in there and accepted full responsibility, and they could have given me more time. And he even, the judge even told me he even thought about it because of how long the fraud went on for 4 years. And
so you kept doing it. So that's that's just like twisting the blade into the God.
Yeah. So he was, but I do think that it helped me. The character references helped me, and then I had 3 in-person character.
Okay.
In
people
court.
Showed up and talked.
Yeah.
I had a few people show up too. How many character reference letters did you turn in?
I did 5. I had 5 characters. I didn't want to be overwhelming, but I didn't want to be short.
5 to 10 is probably a good number. If you give the judge like 80 letters, he's all, now I got to work. Now this guy got to send. I got to read all these letters. He's required by law to read the letter. Does he get his interns to read them for him? Maybe, but he is required by law. But does he? But you piss him off, you give him that many. Now you made him work. You know what I mean?
Right. So
go on.
I had given those, and then I had 3 in person, and really, I like to think that I got the best possible outcome that I could have, because I got the low end of my guidelines, and I was very thankful for that. And I ended up actually getting only 1 year supervised release.
Really? Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Which is kind of.
You have a big restitution?
Yeah. I have a co-defendant, so we both are liable for the whole amount.
Yeah.
And it's $474,000 and some change. So
yeah, you'll probably never pay that off unless you win the lottery. But
I
have to pay $100 or 10%. And mine's 1.7 million. I had 9 co-defendants, but nobody's ever going to get it paid off. The interest alone is 30% interest compounded monthly.
See, and
you can't even catch up on the interest.
He waived my interest, he was pretty much as straightforward as you can be.
He waived the interest. I don't think
He waived the interest.
I've never even heard of that.
There's zero interest on my restitution, and he pretty much came out and told them, like, you're going to be paying this pretty much forever. So, I ended up no interest on my restitution, and then 1 year of supervised release. And I feel like I got a pretty fair deal for what I had to do,
I do want you to know when money gets put on your books out there, after a few months, they're gonna start taking money from whoever sent it to you.
I watched some of your videos, and I seen that, which it sucks, but it is what it is,
Yeah, it is what it is. Let's see. You got this. I think you said this was your daughter, Shady.
That's my sister.
Sister. So let's see what she says. My dad. I can't. My dad just came out of a 17-year stay. It should. I can't. Can you read that? My eyes.
Yeah, it says my dad came out of a 17-year stay. It should bring you comfort that you're not going to miss big important things in your kids' lives. You did what you did to keep your head above water, and I'm still proud of you.
Wow.
So.
Wow. That's nice. She's still proud of you. Because, when we do go to prison, we break these laws,
right.
Man, our family suffers. And, they're going to look at us for the rest of our life. And we're leaving.
They do their own time.
Yeah, they do.
It's different, but they do their own time. Yeah, exactly.
And for men, I know the American family is not what it used to be, but usually the man's the breadwinner. And when the breadwinner goes away, the wife has to take on all the roles.
Oh, yeah.
And then the wife, her friends and family and everything else are saying, why are you waiting? Why are you staying with this man? Why are you doing this? Why? She can't answer that stuff.
And lucky for me, man.
If you get a 5-year sentence or more, chances are your wife's not going to be.
Yeah, 100%. Lucky for me, man. My wife, she's set up in her career. She's a great, strong woman. Love her to death. She stood by me this whole time. She had no idea that, what was going on, and
how did you tell her? How did you break the news to her?
So I called her and I told her that the Secret Service was at my work looking for me, and she was like laughing, like, whatever.
Sure.
I'm like, no, I'm serious. Like, we have a lot to talk about when you get home, and that's kind of how it went. I ended up going and talking to him, and when she got home, I just spilled the beans, and she was definitely upset, disappointed, and I don't know how or why, but she loves me, and she stuck by me this whole time.
Yeah, I don't know how or why either. You're lucky, man.
She wants to be with me, and we have 2 beautiful kids, and they're great kids, and that's my main concern really out of this whole deal is, like, I just want to come home to what I'm leaving from, Yeah. And so
you got 27 months. Maybe we can talk about how much time you're actually really going to do. So I know you said you didn't think you're qualified for the RDAP. Why do you think
that? From what it seems like is, like, from what I've read, and I don't know 100%, but it seems like you have to have, like, kind of qualified proof of, like, substance abuse, which I had. I got really heavy into drinking, and I've been really heavy into drinking, and then I scaled back, but I don't know that I have any way to prove that that I can. I don't know what it takes to actually.
So normally, the best way to get in is in that pre-sentence report. There's a section on alcohol and drugs, and you're sitting with the probation officer, and that's when you tell them about your drug history. Even if you have nothing on paper, if the probation officer writes it in, you're good to go. Once you get past where you're at, you've already been sentenced. So now you need to convince the RDAP coordinator why he or she should let you in their program, because they run RDAP. People tell me, the judge recommended RDAP. That's great. Judge recommends a lot of things.
Yeah.
Your BOP custody now. They damn much laugh at that.
Yeah.
But I
did put that I had, I did put that, I've been a heavy drinker, and alcoholism runs in my family. Like I did put all that in my PSR.
Okay, so that might be enough. I'm not sure. I didn't see. At least you didn't put. At least you didn't put that I'm not an alcoholic. I don't do drugs
Right.
or alcohol, because then that screws you over later if you try to get an RDAP.
And I will tell you from watching your videos,
Yeah.
When you go to fill out your PSR,
Yeah.
it is very important that you fill out your PSR. Because
Right.
my lawyer was one of those guys. He was like, I'm going to help you do this. I wanted to fill out my PSR, and that's what I did. And I'm glad I did because,
Well, that's very important. Some people, their lawyer doesn't even let them have a copy. He doesn't even show them a blank one. Or my lawyer, I found out with the help of RDAP Dan and another guy, Walt Pavlo, they said you need to ask your lawyer for at least a week ahead of time. He said, that's 20 pages long, man. That's some work to fill it out.
yeah,
Some
absolutely.
lawyers make their client wait till the day that they all meet in this office with the probation officer. I don't know all my bank account numbers and finances
Yeah.
and this stuff.
Absolutely. I think it's very important that somebody takes the time and fills out their own
Right.
PSR. You want it in enough time because like you said, there's a lot to it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to it. They want to know. They dig into your family history. They want to
Yeah,
know your girlfriend
everything.
in high school. Did you hit them? Did you beat them? They're digging, man. They're looking for stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's not tell us all the greatest achievements you've done. It's not one of those kind of.
No, it's not. And they don't want to hear it if you, no matter how good it
Yeah,
is.
you could kind of word it that way. That's what I help people with. Okay, so
Yeah.
they want to know if we've ever had a fight with any of our women in the past. So you can kind of word that where it comes. They have to take it back. I mean, they're looking for you to make some kind of slip in there, so they can use that against you in court.
100%.
So in the PSR was yours 17 pages. I think that's it. Every district has their own version, but they're all basically the same.
I want to say it was 17 to 20 pages. It was pretty long.
Yeah. So that's another thing I stress when people call me. I help them out with that too. But we want to sit down and fill it out together. Then you show it to the lawyer, and then the probation's going to add some. You're going to sit there that day, and the probation officer's going to look at it. He's going to say everything's okay, but he's going to walk away. He's going to add a bunch of stuff. He's going to bring up your juvenile record. He's going to bring up the time the cop, your girlfriend called the cops in high school. I mean, and he's going to put it in there. And then you got to get him to take it out because it's more than 10 years ago or more than 15 years ago if it's a felony, and that's where you get your lawyer. You need to have him take that out because if you don't say anything, they leave it in, and it's real important.
Yeah, and if it was anything like mine, it was kind of I wouldn't say rushed, but they weren't there to listen to everything. She was on a mission, and that she wanted to know anything and everything real quick, and she wanted to be in and out of there.
Yeah. Let me say hi to I gotta make this bigger. Let me I can't read it. Let me
Ramir Watson, my cousin.
Oh, I can see it now. I just had to zoom my where did it go? I still can't. Oh, my cousin from Compton, California just came home from state prison doing 31 years. Wow. 31 years.
Welcome home.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't have before your cousin went in, the whole world's changed, man. Technology.
Yeah.
Boy.
Definitely a different world.
Different cars and cell phones and computers and all that stuff. And when you do that much time in prison, you hear about, the technology, but you don't.
Yeah. But you don't know.
They'll get a cell phone snuck in there and stuff, but they don't really know what the technology is like.
It's like my little sister, her dad, he did 17 years, man. And he didn't know what to do when he went to a gas pump, and that little TV came on and was talking to him.
Is somebody going to come fill my tank up? No, they don't do that. Full service, no more.
They're starting to give him the news at the gas pump, and he's like, "What the hell?"
I'll bet.
Just crazy.
Brian says, "Yeah, that's a lot of time." I hope they can adjust. After 31 years.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's a long time.
All I can say is welcome home, man, because that is a long time.
Right. TJ says, I still trip out over my PSR only being 10 minutes. Yeah, I remember I talked to TJ before he got sentenced and all that. And I think his lawyer, was it the lawyer? Or I know TJ, they didn't really give you much time on that PSR. You need to get that, a month ahead. You can print it out on the websites. Like I was in Northern District of California. They actually have a blank PSR you can print out.
Yep.
and so you can have it ready.
I actually requested mine from a lawyer, and he shot me over the deal, and I filled it out. He reviewed it and kind of told me, kind of helped me with some of the small stuff. And
Yeah. Some lawyers don't want to do the work, and they won't give you it ahead of time, or they don't even know that they can give it to you.
Right.
Brian's got a question. What's a PSR? It stands for pre-sentence report. The real name on the paper says pre-sentence investigation report. It's also known as a PSI, pre-sentence investigation. But what it is, it's a life history of you.
Oh, yeah.
17, 20 pages long. And this is what the judge uses to judge you on who you are. And
I would definitely recommend not lying on it, because they will find anything and everything you've ever done. The gum you stole from the gas station when you were 9, they know.
Yeah. And they're going to call every relative and friend that you mention on there. And if you don't put anybody, they're going to find you for one. So that's, if you don't put anyone, you're probably not going to be out on your bond much more, because that's kind of a violation of your pretrial if you refuse to do that. But what they're going to do is make phone calls to all those relatives in there, find out if you're lying. They're not going to be friendly phone calls.
They call your bank.
Yeah.
They call everybody. Yeah.
Right.
Anything and everything. And it's a detailed, I like to think of it as a detailed review of your life.
So if you can, do not fill that out all on your own. I mean, get some help from somebody. Yeah. If it's not me, your lawyer, but you fill it out yourself. But there's certain parts you don't want to actually. You want to ask questions on how I should fill this out, right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it's not something. Yeah, you just don't want to fill it out on a Friday night while you're drinking and turn it into.
I would definitely reach out to somebody like Sean and get some. I would like to call Sean more professional advice than just your random nobody, because it.
Yeah, be careful. Some of those, if you're looking up those prison services and consultants, I'm not going to mention names tonight, but there's 3 of them out there that are charging you $10,000 and $20,000, and they're not going to help you with this. They're just trying to get your money, so be careful.
I thought about contacting a couple, and they want we're talking tens of $20,000. They promise you the world, and it seems to be a habitual thing that they don't deliver on that. So,
and then they won't even answer the phone. And once you pay them, they won't even take your phone calls.
No doubt. And then you're stuck there alone, and you got to answer all the questions on your own.
Yeah, you guys, you can call me anytime for a question. I've been doing this for a couple of years now. I've probably talked to 500 people that have watched my videos, going through something along getting ready to go to prison. Some guys just ask me, can I bring my shoes in there? I have reading glasses. Can I bring those into the prison? I don't care. The stupid questions are actually the good ones. So you guys have any questions? You can ask right now too. But and I don't have all the answers, but I got a lot of the answers. So I'm glad to take anybody's phone call. It gives me purpose to wake up in the morning that somebody wanted my help for something. They wanted to know what the bathroom situation's like in a prison. I was able to tell them, and they're a little at ease now. So,
but you kind of turned all the negatives into easy positive answers. It's easy. It's easier to ask somebody like you and get a straightforward answer than it is to, pure. You can Google all you want, but there's no better answer than somebody that's been through it.
Somebody's been through it. I know. And I've got a few guys. I still probably talked to 7 or 8 guys that I did time with, and 5 of them live here in Albuquerque. We get to see each other, and it's amazing the friends you'll make in prison that you never thought I never thought I'm not going to make any friends in prison. I don't want to make any friends. It's going to happen though. It's going to happen. For you, you're 27 months. It's going to go by quick. So let's try to do some math here. Let me get a pen and paper. So you've probably done the math already. How many times have you written it down? Tell me what you got.
From what I figured, it would be a year and 11 months. So I turn myself in if that's with my good time. If I get my good time.
With the good time. So you're going to get 54 days for each year, but you've done it on 7 months. I'm going to say you get 5 months off. Is that what you got for your good time?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So that brings it down to 22 months. So going, how'd you get lower than that?
I want to try to get into RDAP so I can knock at least another 6 months off. That'd be great. But
Well, I do got a guy, Herman Delgado. He runs Thresholds. It's a program for men that come out of prison where he helps them get jobs and housing and things like that. And it's through the Catholic diocese, and he's the director of this program. But he also goes to prisons and visits men and signs them up for his mentor program, and then he picks you up at the gate and takes you home. But he's agreed, and he also teaches criminology at the University of Mexico. He's a part-time teacher there, but he's retired. He's 60-something years old, but he's agreed to evaluate people for us. I could give you his number. He's agreed to
absolutely
for us, and what he'll do is it's going to be 2 or 3 phone calls or Zoom meetings. He'll evaluate you and give his professional opinion whether he believes that you have a problem or you don't have a problem, and he can give you a certified letter from Thresholds. It's well known in the prison system. But mind you, he's not a drug counselor. Well, he's in recovery, but he's got a really good reputation with the prisons, and he runs this program, and he's been doing that for 20 years. So his letter is probably gold. And any RDAP coordinator could call him when she got that letter, and I'll talk to him, and he's reviewed you. So I could probably hook you up with him, but he's going to charge you something. I'm not sure.
Hey man, if I think it'll get me home quicker to my wife and kids, I'm about it.
Yeah, no guarantees, but some of the other prison guys be told to charging $10,000 for some licensed therapist, whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no guarantee. But one thing you could do is go to AA meetings or Narcotics Anonymous meetings and get a attendance sheet signed, and you show up to the RDAP coordinator. Look, I've been to 52 meetings since I was since I got sentenced. Why would somebody like that go to that many meetings to get an RDAP? To get the year off? But I mean, people just don't, even to get the year off, they're not going to go to that many meetings. Nobody's going to.
Even if I didn't get the year off, like I honestly think it would help me, and just in general in my life, because I struggle with things, and obviously what I'm going through has not helped any of that at all.
Right.
And people turn to things, and I think even if I'm not eligible for RDAP, I would like to at least set in on some AA, some kind of help.
I think if you went to AA meeting and you start meeting some people in there and you let them know I'm going to prison, and you have them write like a character reference letter for the RDAP coordinator that I met Hadley, he comes to our meetings, and then their opinion that you do have a problem with alcohol. And if you brought in 5 of those letters, plus your PSR does say you had a problem with drinking, and you have the attendance sheet signed, I'm guessing that's enough to get in, because it's where I was at. Her name was Dr. Coulter Rodriguez, and she would tell us people come in my office, they want to sign up for RDAP, nothing in their PSR, but they said the judge recommended the program. And she just laughs. She goes, "That's nice. What else did the judge recommend? That you probably exercise every day and use the track and go to classes." She just laughed. She said, "You got to convince me." She goes, something in writing works, but she says anybody could fool a doctor. She told us that. I get these letters. So she asked us one day, because she got the same letter 7 or 8 times. She goes, "Where are these letters coming out of Mexico? All you guys know some doctor in Mexico?" She said, "I'm not going to accept these letters anymore. There's too many of them coming in. Something's fishy here." She knew, so But she makes the decision, and there's one of her at every camp or wherever they have the RDAP. The coordinator makes that decision. So I think, like I said, go to AA meetings, get some people to sign, write a letter for you, and people in the AA will do that. And that'll probably get you in, man. Save yourself some money, because Herman might charge you $500 or something, and I don't know if you really need it. Yeah.
Cool. I really appreciate all the advice, man.
Yeah,
I do.
Sure.
It's definitely I don't wish this upon anybody, and I hope that anybody that sees this that's not in trouble, I hope this is a deterrent for, you know, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not.
I also want to show another way besides RDAP is let me get my one here, non-residential. I got it on the wall here somewhere. Here it is. So this is another program that anybody can enter. There's no requirement. It's called the non-residential drug abuse treatment program. All the
Okay.
I don't know if it's showing.
Yeah.
So it's a non-residential, and it's 200 hours long, and every I don't say every camp offers it. You might have to call first if you haven't been sentenced to a camp. You want to find one that has certain programs, but most of the time they have this. So it's a 200-hour program, and it went for 24 weeks. So and it gets you out of your job because of the First Step Act credits. That's why you get the 6 months. You'll get 6 months halfway house or home confinement. I mean, it's something. It's a start.
Yeah.
And then also, you'll automatically get halfway house time. They normally 1 month for every year you're in there, give or take. It depends on the counselor or your case manager.
Right.
Because of the pandemic, people are getting a lot more. I know 2 guys that had 18-month sentences, and they got 6 months halfway house without even trying. Just they gave it to them. You know,
that's not bad at all.
Now they want to kind of keep the prisons filled back up because they have vacancies now, so they're going after PPP scams, and they're going after and they're trying to fill the prisons back up because it's job security too. They're going to lose that if the pandemic emptied them out. Everybody got off on CARES Act and compassionate release and stuff like that. So that's kind of over. So they want to fill them back up. But I know you'll get at least 3 months, probably halfway house. But if you take that non-residential, take any other classes or programs, you can. But the most time you can get off is a year. And unfortunately, you're not going to be there long enough to build up credits to get the whole year off.
Right. Thank God. I mean, it's a blessing, but yeah. Still, I mean, I know that any time is some time, but I really wish I wasn't going through all this, but I am, and here I am, and I don't have any other choice but to go through it, and that's what I got to do. And
well, let's say you get the 6 months off. I had 22 minus 6, so you're looking at 16 months in prison.
That wouldn't be terrible. That's
probably what you're going to do. 16 months. I mean, if you take classes or programs, the non-residential one, that one's a good one to take because it's 24 weeks. So you're going to get all those credits.
Right.
Some of the other classes, it's an hour a day, which is great, but they only have them on. So some camps are small and they only have 100 or 200 inmates. They have a class on a Tuesday and Thursday, and that's it. There's nothing else available, so you can't really build up your earned time credits. Plus, they take every 6 months. They have a team meeting. That's where your counselor, your case manager, your unit director, and you sit down. That's when they're going to evaluate your new credits. They're not going to just like every day keep adding on. That's too much work for them. So you get every 6 months you get a review.
I actually requested a smaller camp that's closer to home for me. So we'll see. But
small camps are nice as far as all those people being there, but they're work camps. They're usually they have agriculture, or they have a dairy, or a lot of the guys go work in town doing jobs for the parks and recs and things like that. And they take them home at night. They have contracts with the city, but everybody in a small camp pretty much is going to have a job unless you have a medical excuse. And then again, there's not a lot of programs. Most camps have pool tables and weight rooms and music rooms and libraries and all that. And a small camp might not have all that stuff.
Right.
So there's good and bad with it.
Look, excuse me for just a minute. I'm going to go run to the restroom real quick.
Not a problem. Let's see if I caught up on everybody's comments here. TJ. So nobody wants to call in live tonight, huh? I got the number on the screen, guys. Just give us a call if you want to call in live. Nobody does. Righteous. Thank you. So yeah, I'll tell you again, guys. This is called the non-residential RDAP. Nobody talks about this one. Anybody can qualify. Anybody. The thing is you just sign up. It doesn't matter if you've ever done alcohol or drugs. It's a non-residential, which means the residential drug abuse program RDAP. You live in a special building, all right, and it's got its own kind of rules and culture over there. But the non-residential, anybody can take it from any unit that they live in, and you'll get 6 months off for halfway house time. But it's 24 weeks long. So there's that. And I think when I took it, it was twice a week or something like that, maybe 3 times a week. And he's back.
So
nobody's taking my offer up to call in live, man.
yeah, dude.
But like again, I kept changing the time on this, and so I probably missed.
I get it, man. I get it.
Yeah.
My main goal, while I'm there, really, I'm a bigger guy, so I would like to get back in shape.
Yeah, I've seen people lose 100 pounds and stuff in prison.
Grow my mind a little bit. Do a little more study. I'm a blue collar worker by trade, so I'm a certified welder.
Okay.
I requested, I would love to learn things like HVAC, maybe.
They have that there. They'll certify you for it too.
So I more or less want to learn, other things that, that can help me out here in the free world and
sure
build my future into whatever it may be.
Since you're going to a camp, I mean, it's the best opportunity to work on yourself and come out a better person. If I was going to the penitentiary, that had to be very hard to do.
See, that was another thing I was nervous about which from what I've read or what I've watched of like your stuff and read, like if you're going to self-surrender, you're going to a lower camp.
Lower camp, yeah. I've never heard anybody self-surrendering to a medium. I heard of one guy who had a $5 million bond, ankle bracelet, and he was escorted there by the marshals. I mean, it really wasn't self-surrender, but yeah. So that's fair.
So I'm kind of, I'm thankful for that. I really hope that I go to a camp, and a lot of that is because I don't want to go to low. And
you haven't been evaluated yet for your custody level points.
Not that I know. So no, not that. I mean, I haven't talked to anybody. Nobody's told me anything.
Oh, so you don't know if because you need 11 points or less. I have all the evaluation questions
I have.
What's that?
I have 0 criminal history.
That's good.
I'm a bit younger. I'm only 30 years old.
See, now that's I think that's 6 points. If you're under 25, I know it's 8 points. So yeah, 25 to 35. How old are you again?
30.
30. Yeah, that's 6 points. Do you have a GED?
I do.
Okay, that's good because otherwise that would be 2 points. They do add a point for having any kind of a drug or alcohol problem. That's the way they write it.
Right.
If they give you that point, that actually gets you an RDAP. That's kind of almost a guarantee. If they give you that point, that's their way of confirming. But it costs you that point. Then there's just the severity of your crime and the amount of money and stuff. I don't have it with me because that can be up to 8 points.
Right.
So, your lawyer should be able to do this for you. But again, everybody that calls me, their lawyer doesn't even know they've never heard of a classification. Yeah. They don't even know what it is, the point system. They know the sentencing point.
I looked it up, and if from what I looked up, if my math is correct, I want to say I had 9 BOP points, but
do you have any detainers or like failure to appears for not fixing a headlight? It could be as small as that.
Nothing. I literally have 0 criminal history. I have, I don't have anything pending state-wise. Nothing. Okay. I've never been in trouble. This is actually the first time I've ever been in trouble, ever.
Well, that helps. Hey, Brian, thank you for listening. He says, I got to bounce, guys. Hadley, best of luck, my brother. And Sean, thank you. And I hope both of you enjoy your weekend. Need to spend some time with the wife. Yeah, because he's going through sentencing too. So
hey, man, I appreciate it.
Family, man. Yeah.
I appreciate, yeah, definitely spend as much time as you can with family, and I really appreciate that, man. And I hope all goes well for you. And keep your head up. That's all I can say. I know it's tough. It's very tough.
Yeah, it's tough out there.
So,
It sure is, man. What else did you want to talk about? I kind of want to end this up in the next 5 or 10 minutes, if it's okay with you. It's getting
no,
late.
yeah.
It's getting late, and I'm an old man, guys. Need some sleep.
I mean, we covered quite a bit. I mean, all I can do is hope and pray for the best. I guess. How do you know how they'll? How will I find out where I'm supposed to go? Do they email you? Do
You're
they
going
send
to
you?
get a designation letter, but sometimes it doesn't show up till a week before you go in. You can call the marshals in that district; they'll know, or you can call the judge's clerk. Every judge has their own private clerk, so
Right.
that judge has a phone number, and that clerk can tell you too. I found out from the clerk, and then
So
the letter came. But
I wondered,
yeah,
being so far out, since I got I think it was 69 days from my court date.
see, they'll be calculating everything for your point systems, and where to send you. Grand Prairie, Texas, does that. That's where
Yeah.
all the federal lawyers work. So if you could get somebody to answer the phone in Grand Prairie, they would tell you too, but they don't answer their phone. But
Yeah.
it's going to be a month or two. It takes them that long just to process you. And since so November, when did you get sentenced?
I got sentenced the 20th, so Tuesday.
This month? I mean, of last month?
No, this month, the 20th,
This was
Tuesday.
Just ago.
I'm fresh.
You're fresh, man. At least 30 days before anybody knows anything.
And that was definitely the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life, was going there and talk to that judge. It really was.
Do you remember how what you said, or how long you talked for, or how you felt?
So my lawyer did a lot of the talking, but I did write a letter, and it wasn't real long, but I know a lot of people say you shouldn't get choked up in front of them. You shouldn't shed a tear, man.
I think you should, if it comes out naturally, if it's real. Do it.
When I mentioned when I got to the point of the letter where I had to mention my kids, my wife, that was it was hard for me, definitely 100%. And I could tell by the way he was looking at me, and he told me, take as long as you need. I could tell that he had some compassion in what I was going through, and he was straightforward and told me, I expect I'll never see you in this courtroom again. And he was pretty compassionate. Told me that he hopes that I get through this and come back home and be the good father and husband that I am.
Yeah,
And that meant a lot, considering what I was in there for.
That's what the rich kind of wants to hear. They want to hear you're sorry for your crime. Everybody's going to say that, but they want to feel something.
And I
definitely
think it's like how you write your letter and how you feel, like personally in that moment. If you go in there and you're just like, I'm sorry, well, you can say that 100 ways all you want, but if you're not, you have to be real.
Yeah,
and
speak from the heart is what I always say. Speak from the heart. And if you stutter and stop and you go, oh, so what? That actually shows that you're real. Because if you go in there rehearsing the script for the movie, you know what I mean? Then it's not real.
100%. I could tell that he knew that I was being genuine with everything I said, and that's all I could tell anybody that has to go through this is make sure you're being 100% honest, and if you're wrong, you're wrong, and be honest about it, and it'll help you in the long run.
Yeah, I role play with people. We do a Zoom or video phone call, and I'll be the client, and I'll show you all the bad things you could say or the worst things you could say, and then we switch roles and we do back and forth, and it helps people. But the day you get there, practice all you want, but the day you get there, there's going to be three speeches you say: the one you practice for, the one you should have said, or the one that comes out. And that's
100%.
That's the one you want, the one that comes out.
And you're just a ball of nerves. I ended up, there was a guy that had like a supervised release revocation in front of my co-defendant, and then it was my co-defendant, and then it was me. And that whole time, you're a ball of nerves, man. And
Yeah.
it was definitely the hardest day of my life. I will tell you
It's,
that.
it's it's the most important day of your life. You're never gonna forget that day.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll
But
never forget mine.
I'm glad that it turned out the way it did. I mean, 27 months, but at the end of the day, it could have been a lot worse.
But now you can plan a future, right? Now you can see past the. You can
There's an
see
end in
past the
sight.
end of the tunnel. Yeah, because I didn't know till I got sentenced. I
Yeah.
don't know, 84 months, 70 months, 6. I got 52 months. He could have gave me 20 years, and I would have said thank you.
Yeah.
At least I know. At least I know I can go on now. Not knowing.
Yeah. And my judge even told me in there, he was like, due to the length of everything, like, I've thought about going above the guidelines.
Yeah.
And he was like, due to what I've heard here today, you know, this is what I believe is right. And
they do go
I
above
want
the
to say I got lucky, but you know what? I mean, at the end of the day, 27 months on a prison sentence, that's short.
No, they do go above the guidelines, though. If the guy
Yeah.
comes in here and his attitude tells the judge that this guy hasn't learned nothing. How long
Yeah.
you been a preacher around? You haven't thought about your life. This guy doesn't care. He's going to be right back. Well, I got to punish him a little more because it's your punishment day, And that judge has the job. How much time should I give this guy as a punishment? And if you
And I'm a firm believer too that like it depends on where you're at, man. I'm in Texas. It's very conservative. It's it really all depends on how you react to everything. Is how your day will go.
right for sure. Yeah, these judges sentence people, every week. I don't know how many
Oh,
people sentence a week, but you're just kind of another face. He's looking at the clock. I'm going to take my lunch at 1. How long is this going to be?
Yeah.
All this stuff's going on. He does this every day, so it's his emotions. He's learned how to keep his emotions in. The judge. I've never heard of anybody making the judge cry, but you can make the judge aware that he's human too. You can get that.
Yeah.
Reach that human part of the judge.
When my sister, my little sister that was in here earlier, she actually read a letter for me there in court, and about midway through the letter, I don't know why. Maybe it was just, I don't know, maybe it was habit or something. But the judge kind of grabbed his head and looked down. You couldn't tell what was going through his mind. I don't know if that helped or not. I mean, he had sentenced my co-defendant before me, and I'll say my co-defendant was not as lucky as I was. I will say that, and we were pretty much, when we pled in the same courtroom. When we got sentenced, we got sentenced in the same courtroom, and he definitely did not get the deal that I got.
I don't know what his PSR looked like, his reference letter, his pretrial record.
I definitely think it all depends on how you prepare, what you do leading up to that situation.
Did you do any kind of community service or
I didn't
volunteer work or anything? Did you document it and show that to the judge or the court?
I didn't. I didn't do any community service. I didn't do nothing, man. I sat around and kind of felt sorry for myself. And now looking back, there's things I probably could have done that would have helped me out even more.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that God had my back, and I made a bad decision. I'm not a bad person, but I made a bad decision, and that's what he judged me on. And a matter of the fact, he told me that. He said, I don't know your I know what I've read, but I don't know your life. I'm judging you based on the decision that you're here for today, and that's what it is. But I'm telling you, I feel like it solely depends on how you prepare.
Yeah, true.
I think that you have a lot of useful tools on your Facebook page, or everything.
Yeah, I do a lot of that's free stuff, but I help people prepare like community service or stuff like that. if you lived in Texas, I'll go and call up. I'll find out a place for you to volunteer. Maybe at the senior citizen, rec center or something. I'll find something
Yeah.
easy for you. But once a week you go, pack food at a food bank, and you get all that documented. You show the judge that all that stuff shows the judge. Look, I'm trying to change. I haven't been in prison yet. I'm trying to be the better person now, and the judge can see all that. It's documented too, but you gotta. The judge will see see that you.
Yeah, 100%.
They can sense that, but if you do all that stuff, you'll change. You'll change who your person
As a person. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll change, and that can't be faked.
I would definitely recommend anybody that finds this video follow the steps that Sean has, because he's setting you up to succeed. And it's not. I'll mention names. I don't know if Sean wants me to, but it's not
Go
just.
ahead.
You're not. This isn't like a big.
And prison professors, they all work together.
Yes.
There's a guy named Larry at Prison Professors. He's calling people 20, 30 times now. If you call just for 2 minutes, they'll call you back, harass you to try to get you to hire them.
If you look on his Facebook page or the links of his videos, there's tons of useful information, and it's all free. And I would highly recommend you use it, because that's free. It doesn't cost you a penny. Watch his video. I went back all the way before you even had this page. I went back to your old.
Yeah, I started off. It's called Club Fed True Stories.
I watched it all, and it helped me. It did. It helped me, and it was all free, 100% free.
Yeah. I got 317 videos, I think now. Some of them are live and interviews and stuff like that. But I got a thing from YouTube that you reached 300 videos a couple months ago. So, that's an achievement.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you know what? I think you made lemonade out of lemons. That's for damn sure. And I would urge anybody, reach out to Sean. Dude didn't know me from Adam. I reached out to him when all this started, and then I backed off, was like, I'm just going to handle this on my own. And then all I did was went through his YouTube videos, Facebook, everything. I kind of read everything he posted, watched all the videos, and that's what I used. And
thank you. I'm glad I could help you get on with your life.
I got the best possible deal that I could, and now all I have to do is go through it as a person.
There you go, man. There you go. If you want to email me too when you get to prison, I got I don't know, a dozen people that email me.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, I keep in contact with people while you're in there, and then like I could do for you is because you don't have there's no Google or computers in there, and so you want to know about a news story you heard about, or you're something on your Facebook that your family printed, or anything that can be copied and pasted in text, I'll send it to you from the internet. You get old school email there. It's only you can't have pictures sent there or nothing. But I like to send people that
100%.
Because there's a guy he plays guitar and stuff. So I always send him songs with the chords and all that for his guitar.
Yeah.
Somebody did that for me while I was in there because I play guitar, and it's a big deal to get that song with the chords and stuff. Now I got a new song to play, and
Oh yeah. No, I've listened to all your stuff, man. We went back on your Facebook and your pre-trial stuff. I listened to all of it, man. I just want to say I'm super proud of you, man, because
thank you.
Not all people come out on the other side like that. They don't.
No, they don't, and quite a few don't. Most don't.
And it takes it takes a lot of will and a lot of wanting to do the right thing to end up where you're at, man. And you're almost off of supervised release, aren't you?
Yeah, December 22nd. Yeah, almost there, man.
I mean, you're in the short rows now. So
yeah, my probation officer was really happy with me here, and she came over here, I don't know, a couple months ago, said it would probably be the last time I see her.
See, and you know what? I also think that's another thing. It depends on who my pretrial officer. She has been awesome. I've seen her. I've been doing this since November. I pled in March. I've seen her twice, And anytime I want to leave town or, go see family, easy to work with. Like that, I think it just really depends on who you get, but I've been lucky.
I had a tough one, man. She was really tough, tough love, kind of thing. She
Yeah.
knew everything, every move I made. She was on it, man. But
I've been,
I violated too,
yeah.
I went and used drugs and got caught, and so that they let me do a drug program to instead of locking me back up. If
So
you
that,
if you violate on your pretrial, whatever it is, you let's say you just drive out of your out of your jurisdiction, or you contact. So I almost got in trouble with contacting my ex girlfriend, because she was a co-defendant and I can't talk to her. But I
yeah.
Facebooked her and she went and turned me in on that part, right? So they almost violated me on that, but anything like that, they can throw you back into jail or detention center, and guess what? You don't get credit for that. Why
You
you're
know,
and if it's 2 more years till you get sentenced, you're locked up for 2 years and you get no credit time.
yeah.
So
The guy that was in front of us in court, man, he had violated. I'm not going to get into his business because I don't know him, but he did not stay on the straight and narrow
right.
at all. And it seemed like they were pretty fair to work with him, but it is what it
They
is.
might give you 1 or 2 chances on pretrial. Probation, on the other hand, they don't really give you
Right.
chances. They just send you back. You go back to the same prison. It's usually a 6 month stay. The only good thing about that is when you come back after a violation from prison, they don't restart your probation. Feds don't do that.
Right.
The state does. So that's the only good thing. And if you violate,
Right.
they don't restart it. Because then some people would never get off probation. It'd always be restarted.
Yeah. And I just happened to luck out with the 1 year of
1 year.
supervised release.
That's nice, man. That's nice. Yeah.
I guess I played my card well. I watched enough of your videos. I prepared myself.
There you go. Yeah. So 1 year that'll be fine. And they still drug test even if you don't have a drug charge. I don't know how many guys I did time with. They go, I don't have a drug charge. They're not gonna. You're gonna pee in a cup at least for 6 months. No matter who you are, you're gonna pee in that cup when you first get out. So,
no doubt.
All right, man. I still pee in a cup once a month now, so it's not as bad. I guess I got 2 more cups to fill, and I'm out of here.
You're done, man. You're done.
But I do want to call it a night. But how about some final words of advice or anything for people out there?
Man, my only words of advice would be stay strong, and you're the only person that can get through it, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got in some dark places real quick, man. Real quick.
Yeah.
Especially having a wife and kids, man. I felt like the biggest failure. It's all how you respond to it is how it's going to end up for you. And I would say keep pushing, do what you have to do the right thing. Follow Sean. This dude's not going to steer you in the wrong direction. I promise you that 100%.
Thank you.
All I did was I promise you I didn't contact him hardly until today. I've watched all his videos. He's going to steer you in the right direction. That would be my advice.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. Thank you.
Do what you got to do. It is what it is. At the end of the day, you're the only person that can answer for your wrongdoing, and you can sit there and blame whoever you want to blame, but at the end of the day, you made your decisions, and you got to sleep with that, and that it's on you.
And I understand about that dark place. Oh boy, do I! You feel so alone.
Oh yeah, you do. You feel like nobody else is. They don't understand, but there's people out there that do. And if you watch Sean's videos, I'm telling you, the dude knows what he's talking about.
I don't know if you ever saw the one I did 1 or 2 about how I actually was going to commit suicide.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, man. I've been there, and I'm glad I'm here today, standing on my own too, and I want to be here forever because all you can do is go through it and you'll come out on the other end. I know the worst part is the unknown. You know, you feel like, oh, I'm going to prison forever. Your life's over. You know, it doesn't matter, whatever. It gets better. It does. And
Yes.
if you would have asked me when all this started in November that I'd be standing here telling you this, I'd call you a liar. But once you know, and there's an end in sight, all you have to do is get through it. And that's what I'm going to do. So
I'll tell you, there's one thing in prison that's never talked about that almost every person has. It's called hope. There's a lot of hope in prison, and there's more of it in a camp because everybody's getting released. But even in the penitentiary, that's all they have left is hope. But in a camp, it's real. Everybody is getting out in less than 10 years. So there's a hope, and you're going to hear people talk about what they're going to do when they get out and how to find a job and get this and all the things that they're going to do right. Do they do that when they get out? Usually not, but the hope is there. And just grab that hope, man, and hold on to it, man. There are some positive things in prison. Hope is one of them. So, and you'll see it in it. It's a hope like you never heard. It's a real hope. You know what I mean?
You know what, I really appreciate all your support, and I appreciate you having me come on. And I hope that my words can help somebody that's going through the same thing or fixing to come up on sentencing. And it's not fun. It's not. Yeah. But you will make it. You will make it.
You'll get through this, man. You're gonna get through this. Even if you're 60 years old, I was 52 when I went to prison. Your life's not over.
It's not. It seems like it.
It's a new movie with a twist, and you're the star, but it's not over.
It's definitely a hard pill to swallow, but once you do, I mean, just got to keep going.
Oh boy, sure do. Well, all right, I gotta call it a night. Thanks a lot, man. And
you bet, man.
You get a hold of me before you go. The big day comes, and you know anything I can do along the way. Some questions about when you get there and what you could bring and all that. Just call me or something, okay?
For sure, man. And if you want to have another live or something, if there's something I can help with,
maybe we'll do another one. Okay.
Let me know.
That's good, man. Thanks, man. All right. Good night, everybody.